The Space Commerce track here at ISDC, and we got a full day of very interesting presentations. My name is Charlie Chafer, and I'm listed here as the Master of Ceremonies. I believe that's the first time I've ever had that title, and so I'll try and think of some jokes for later in the day. But we've got a great group. We're very fortunate today to be able to kick off the presentation with Dan Brandenstein. He's, I love the introduction here, currently president of NSS, and he's also VP of Lockheed Martin. We all know him as a veteran of 4 space flights, chief of the astronaut office, and we're very privileged to have him this morning to help us get fired up about something I've cared about since I started working for Deke Slayton in 1982, space commerce. Mr. Branson.
Well, thank you. This is my first opportunity to be at an annual NSS convention since I've taken over as president, and they put on quite a show here, so I'm really pleased to be part of it. This session, I just have to go off to a meeting, so I just have a few minutes, but it's on commercialization, which is really interesting and exciting. And I've had, he gave me a little interview, a little insight into what my career has been, but there's been a little more in there, and that was, I spent 3 years with a Kistler Aerospace, which is an entrepreneurial upstart reusable launch vehicle, which is a totally commercial endeavor. And I think that's where I got my biggest focus into what's all happening in the commercial world, and there is a lot out there, and you're going to see a good cross section of it today, but there's also a lot more, and it's been around for quite a while. You know, the geosynchronous commercial satellites for communications, telecommunications, TV and the like have been around quite a while, and it continues to grow. Pagers and the like are utilizing that commercial endeavor. There's also a large growth area in the low Earth orbit communication satellites, and you have the Televesics, the Globostars, the Iridiums, Skybridge, and numerous others. They come and go. Some of them is almost as fast as you can turn the page in the newspaper. And so there's really a lot of activity and a lot of investment going on in that area, and the growth is really quite phenomenal, and the projections are even greater. You also have in the launch area commercialization. There's all the big guys out there right now are basically launching commercial vehicles. However, they were developed through government programs. You have your Deltas and your Atlases and your Zeniths and the like. You know, they all came up through a government-sponsored program. In addition to that, and you'll hear from some of them today, there's a large number of totally entrepreneurial, totally private, commercial-oriented reusable launch vehicles, and there's a lot of interesting concepts in there. As I said, I had the privilege of working on that for 3 years, and the whole commercial endeavor is also the challenge, and the thing that was really new for me as I got involved in it was the financial aspects of it. And if you're going to do all these private endeavors, they need funding, and getting the investment community involved is rather challenging and interesting. And also you get involved in a lot of regulatory, either export or flying out of the state, so there's a lot of regulatory interesting avenues that one has to pursue. Additional commercial endeavors, you'll be hearing about the X Prize. That's a very interesting program to generate more interest and put a cherry out at the end of the rainbow to if you're successful to get there. And tourism. Tourism isn't quite operating yet, but there are a lot of great ideas. And once again, if you can bring the cost of operations and the reliability of doing it frequently down to a reasonable level. Gracious, I mean, the cruise ship industry, you know, on the ground here, they've grown in leaps and bounds, and if you can bring, you know, the chance to go to orbit into that framework, gosh, it's kind of interesting. When I was still a real astronaut, you go out and give a lot of speeches, and it's really, the interesting thing is that you run into people, and there are very few fence sitters. I mean, you run into a large number of people that would, give their left arm to get a chance to fly in space, and then you have the others that wouldn't touch it. I mean, you couldn't give them all the money in the world and put a gun to their head, and they still wouldn't go. So there's, kind of, but the majority always seemed to be on the side that wanted to go. So, the tourism avenue certainly, I think, will take off when the economics of it become correct. So anyhow, there's really the commercial, and there are a lot of other things that I haven't touched on them all. There are a lot of visions that are being worked on right now, and there are a lot of visions that haven't even generated yet. So there's a lot of interesting things in the commercial arena. You'll be hearing about a lot of them here today, and I only wish I didn't have to go to the dang meeting. I could stay and listen to them too. So once again, thanks for being here, and enjoy the day. Thanks.